So let's start. First of all, we're gonna bring all the objects to the scene. We will create a null object. So it will contain the letters. We will have to have two null objects. Then I will create the second one, but the first one will contain the letters that will show at the beginning of the filter, the ones that will let us know which one we have to find. So yeah, then we create. I'm gonna go with ABC, but you can have the number you want. We scale them, not too big, but just medium. We change the letter. We change A, and then the name. It's important that you also change it, because this filter becomes kind of tricky once you put it in the patch editor, because you have to bring all these to the patch editor, and if you don't have the correct names, it's kind of difficult. Yeah, so we have the letters like that. So it will be a front image. We'll make it invisible, just it doesn't annoy us. Then we create the second null object. We can duplicate the first one, but I'm gonna do it again. This one is the one that will contain the letters that will be floating around us. So we change the scale. These letters should be bigger than the first ones we made, but you can have each letter one size. It's fine. And we move them because we want them to be all around us. So we have to have them out of the camera space, like So we move them. We can turn them, rotate. This is quite random. Then we go for the C. We do the same. We can just duplicate, but yeah. You can also change the scale with the views. I mean, right on the scene. You don't have to change the numbers. Now we're gonna work on how to connect the objects, because we want the floating letters to be connected with the letters that will show up on the beginning. We bring the patch editor, and then we will drag the camera, because we want it to just work with the back camera, the raw camera, not with the front one. So we will bring the camera. Then to the back camera, we will link a delay, because we don't want the floating letters to appear right away. We want the letters that will tell you which one we have to find. We want them to appear right away, but not the floating ones. So then we connect with the deep delay. We connect directly the floating ones, and then with the not, we will connect the beginning ones. The visible part, of course. And then we will add a pulse, and then a random. On random, we go from 1 to 3, because we have 3 letters. And then we add a round and a equal exactly. We can have it from 0 to 2, or from 1 to 3. If you go from 1 to 3, then the first one would be 1. If you want from 0 to 2, the first one would be 2. Then we add an object tab, and we just drag the floating letter. We just drag it to the patch editor and connect it with the object tab, because we want that letter to do something once we tap it, if it's the correct one. So now we're gonna bring the visible part of the same letter, but from the beginning image, the beginning letter, the one that will appear right away. So we connect the visible part. So it will send the information that if this is visible, you have to touch that one. Then we add a switch, loop animation, and transition. We wanted that once you tap on it, it will just rotate. So we bring the rotation. And just rotate as you wish on the axis you want. So we will put the X axis. And just do the same with all the rest. The rest of the letters with B and C. It's just the same. So just duplicate it. And be aware that you have to change. Because if you duplicate it, then it will be linked to the first one, but you just need to change. And also change the number. 1, 2, 3 or 0, 1, 2. And just bring the rest of the letters. And their rotation. So let's make it sound once you tap the correct one. It's almost the same as we did with the rotation part, but I will explain it. We add a speaker. We have to add 3 speakers because we have 3 letters. And then we add sounds from the AR library. We add the ones we want. It doesn't matter. So we import it, and then we have it here, and then we just drag it to the patch editor. Then from the object tab, we add a single clip controller. This one will control the music, and then audio player. So to the audio player, we link the sound, and then we just link it to the speaker. And that would be it. It's easy. And then just duplicate it, as always. Change the speaker, and that's all. So once we tap the correct one, it will rotate and it will also sound. We just duplicate the speaker. So we have sound, we have rotation. Now what we want is particles that looks like confetti. So we make emitter. We bring emitter. We need 3 emitters, 1 for each letter, of course, as always. Then we edit the emitter. We want it to go from top to bottom. We want it to be a ring. Then we will change the scale of the particles and the rotation of themselves. So they will rotate on their axis, so it looks more random. Yeah. Just edit it as you want. We change the scale. So they just randomly change the scale, the size. Now we rotate them. It's starting to look like some kind of confetti. So we just want it to look random, you know, like the confetti just flowed randomly. Now we change the main scale. And the position, because we want it to be on top. Yeah, we bring it to the camera and just move it higher. See, so now it will be seen 360 degrees, because it's appearing from everywhere. We put the speed a bit lower. See, looking nice. Then we create a material. We just pick a color. And then we see. We now bring it to the patch editor. It's the same as with the sound at the rotation. It's just almost the same. We connect the the object tab, to a switch, and once you tap, it will give the information to the switch, and the switch will turn on the emitter. This is easier than the rest, because you just need a switch, and you just do the same with the rest. So now once you tap the correct object, everything will show up. Yeah, and that's almost it. Now let's put some materials. On the letters, we change the color. Remember that A and A have to be the same color, you know. Otherwise, you can't find the correct one. And then we just recreate the same material for the three ones. One is the side color, the back color, and the front color. And then we just do the same with the rest of the letters materials. Yeah. Also, we have to change the name. And then with the C, we change the material, and we go for blue. And here the same. Blue, blue, blue. Perfect. It to be more tricky. So if we want it to be more tricky, we could change the letters to figures and change their color, but you can also make some kind of custom instructions. They are not allowed by Facebook or Instagram, but just to see how it would work. So now we have a play. Once we tap the play, it will show search this object. How do we do that? That's a animation sequence. So we have both images. We put it, but we packet them into a texture sequence, and then we make an animation sequence and we put it inside in the texture. Then we go to the current frame, we bring the current frame to the patch editor, and we connect. So once we tap the plane it to be more tricky. So if we want it to be more tricky, we could change the letters to figures and change their color, but you can also make some kind of custom instructions. They are not allowed by Facebook or Instagram, but just to see how it would work. So now we have a play. Once we tap the play, it will show search this object. How do we do that? That's a animation sequence. So we have both images. We put it, but we packet them into a texture sequence, and then we make an animation sequence and we put it inside in the texture. Then we go to the current frame, we bring the current frame to the patch editor, and we connect. So once we tap the plane